Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Test Code Automate. So this is my 23rd video for the Playwright with TypeScript series. In this video, I would be covering page object models. So here I am going to cover this topic in very simplest way possible, and by the end of this video, you will become expert into this page object models. So let's first start with the theoretical part. So page object model, also known as POM, is design pattern in the test automation that creates an object repository for storing all our locators. The page object will contain the representation of the page and the services the page provides via methods. So here, this representation of page means all the locators, right, which are there inside a particular page. And the services of the page means all the actions which we can perform onto those locators. So here I've created one simple diagram to explain you about this page object model. So into the page object model, we would divide it into two different components. So first one would be the pages, where we would be keeping all our locators and all the actions which we are going to perform onto those locators. So here, as this gray boxes, you can see these are all the pages, right, where we are going to keep all our locators and all the actions which we are going to perform onto those locators, right? So you need to divide these pages into the logical way possible, right? So for an example, we are going to use this application for this video. So here, this is the login page, right? So that's why we have created it as the one page itself, where we would be keeping all the locators which we are going to use to create our test script. Okay, so here we would be keeping username, password, login button, right, and any other things also you can keep, right, whatever you want to use. After login, let's say this home page is appearing, right? So there would be different components like this add to cart button, these images. So these items or the locators will come under the second page, which is the home page, right? So apart from this pages, the second component would be the test script file, right? So previously we used to write our test script inside this test script file, right, which is test.spec.ts, right? So there may be different n number of test script file where you would be writing your test script. Okay, so here these test script file are going to use these pages, right? And by accessing these pages, it would be able to access all the locators, right, and all the methods where we are going to perform actions onto these locators. Okay, and using those locators and the methods, we would be able to write our test script. Now moving further, so here I have given an example where we are not using the page object model. So till now, in our previous videos, we were not using any page object model, right? So we were directly writing all the lines there inside the test script file where we were using this locators, right, and all the actions which we were performing onto these locators, right? So our script was looking like this, right? But there is a disadvantage if we are not using this page object model. So there is no separation between the test methods and the application under tests locators. Okay, so as I told, we are going to use this swaglabs saucedemo.com website for our practice for this page object models video. Okay, so let's first start with this login page, right? So this is the login page, right, where we would be entering the username, then the password, and then we will be clicking onto this login button. Okay, so this we are going to consider it as the one page, right? And for this, first we will create this page object model. Okay, so let me open the VS Code. So here, first thing, you are already aware about this test script file. Inside the test folder, we keep all our test script files, okay, that we would be creating. So everything is there inside this test script file, right? Our test methods, right? These test blocks, all the locators, and all the actions which we are going to perform. And the locators would be spread in multiple tests and would be difficult to maintain, right? Let's say here we are logging into the application, right? And in each test, it is our requirement, right? We need to log in first. So every time if we will use this locator, and for an example, let's say at any point some property got changed, right? HTML property got changed. So you'll have to change it into every test script file and also into every test block, right? Wherever you are using it. So it would be very difficult to maintain it, right? So that's why we are going to use the page object model. So let me first tell you that how we can use the page object models, and then we will come on to these advantages of page object model. Okay, so let me open the VS Code. So here, first thing, you are already aware about this test script file. Inside the test folder, we keep all our test script files, okay, that we would be creating. And the second folder which we are going to use is the pages folder. Okay, so if you have not created this folder till now, so what you can do, you can right click here and then you can click on this new folder. Okay, and then you can give any name. Here I have already created this folder with the name of pages, so you can enter it, right? And you can hit enter, so this folder will get created. For now I'm not creating it as I've already created this folder. Okay, and inside this folder we would be creating our pages file, right? So pages file, how you need to create, you can right click here, then click onto this new file. Okay, and the first thing which we are going to create is login page, right? So how you need to do it, login page, you can give the name, right? You can keep this page common, right? So you will get to know this particular file is for the page object model. And then .ts, right? Till now for the TypeScript file we were using .spec.ts, but here you just need to use this .ts extension, which is for the TypeScript file. Okay, hit enter, then this particular file will get created. Okay, so here first thing what we need to do, we need to create one class. Okay, so inside this file, first what I need to create one class which would be containing all the properties, okay, and all the methods. Okay, so let me tell you how we can create the class. So to create a class, what you need to do, you need to give this class keyword, okay, and then you need to give this class name. So class name we are giving as same as the file name, right? Login page. Okay, and then you need to put the curly braces, and inside this curly braces we would be writing our code. Okay, so this is the class. Okay, and here what first we need to do, whenever we write in class, we need to export it so that we would be able to import it into our TypeScript file. Okay, so to export the class, what we need to do, we need to use this export keyword. Okay, so this is how you can create a class and export it into the TypeScript. Okay, so inside this class there would be the different components which we would be using. So first would be the constructor. Okay, so how you can create a constructor of the class, so you need to write this keyword which is constructor, right? constructor. Okay, so this is our constructor. So after writing this constructor, you need to put this circular braces, okay, and then after that you need to put this curly braces, right? Inside this constructor we would be initializing values, okay, and this constructor would be used to create the object of this class. Okay, now here I would be using one parameter which is page. Okay, so page you can write here, and its type would be page only, right? Capital PAGE. So this is the Playwright page, right, which we use. And here you are able to see this error for this type page because we have not imported this page. So we need to import this page. So how you can import it? So import keyword you need to use. Then inside this curly braces you need to write this page, capital PAGE. And how we are importing it? We are importing it from the Playwright. So from this @Playwright/test. Okay, so now this constructor is created, right? And inside this constructor, as I told you, we are going to initialize the value. Okay, so we are going to initialize values of some properties. So first we are going to create those properties, right? How we can create the property? Here we are going to declare those properties. So first property would be the page only, right? So let me first create, then I will tell you. So this page, and this page property which I have created, so its type would be page only, right? Capital PAGE. So here we have, you can consider it as the variable, this property, right? And this is its type. Let's say previously also, if you have used Java, we used to do, let's say we are creating one variable, right? XYZ is the variable name and its type is a string. So the similar thing which we are doing here. Okay. Now, as we are going to create this page object model for the login page, so we are going to create the property for this username, password, and the login button. Okay, so let me create the property for the username. So here first you need to use this read only. We are using this read only so that any property, right, which is read only, we would not be able to modify it once its value is initialized. Okay, so let's write it like this: read only, then username, right, would be this property name, and this username is the text box. So at the end I will put this text box with this name, right? And its type is going to be locator, right? These are all the locators which we are going to use. Okay, so to give that type, what you need to do, you need to put this colon and then locator. Okay, here also you would be able to see error if you will not import this locator, right? So in the same way we have imported the page, we would be importing this locator from the Playwright test module. Okay, after that we would be having one more property which would be related to the password field, right? So here you can write password, and this is also a text box, okay, or input box, whatever the logical name which you want to give. I'm using this name, so by looking at the name only you will get to know that this particular locator is for which element. Okay, so then the type of this password text box would be locator only, right? This box, keep it small. Okay, now the third property would be the login button, right? So here again read only, then login button, okay, and then the type would be the locator. Okay, and I am keeping this name into the camel casing, so it is starting with the lowercase, and let's say if second word is coming in between, so its first letter would be the capital, right? So now we have declared these locators, right, which we are going to use. So these are all the properties. So now as we have declared these properties, we need to initialize those properties. Okay, and if your properties, right, which you have declared are read only, so you can only initialize them inside the constructor. Okay, and then anywhere you would not be able to change the value of these variables, right, which we have created. So now let's initialize those values. Okay, so when I am saying initialize, so what we are going to do, we are going to put some value inside it. So let's first start with this page, right? So to access this page, what you need to do, so to access this page inside the class, you need to use this keyword, right? THIS, then dot. So see here, you would be able to see all the properties which we declared, right? This is the login page, login button. So this is login button, which is inside the login page. That's what is appearing here, and this is the property. Okay, so here we are going to use this page, okay, and then equals to what we are going to put inside it. We are going to put this page value, right? So the name is same, but don't get confused, right? This is the parameter, right? And this is this particular property which we are using. So this dot page, which is this one, okay, and then it is equals to the page. So it would be equals to the argument which we are going to pass with this constructor. Okay, I will tell you that how we are going to pass it. Okay, so now the second property which I'm going to initialize is this username text box. Okay, so how you can access it, you need to put this THIS dot and then this username text box which we are going to initialize, and as it is locator, right, so we need to create one locator. How you can create the locator? Either you can pick the locator using this Playwright extension, right, or by recording, or we can create it manually. How we can do that? Go to the application, right click, inspect it. Okay, so this is the element for which we need to create one selector, right? So let's use this ID this time. Okay, and first we need to use this page. So page would be the parameter, right, which we have written here, right? And then we need to use this locator method. Okay, and inside this locator method, as a selector, we are going to use the ID equals to, and then that ID value which we copied. Okay, so about this locator method, I have already talked into my previous video into the playlist. So if you have not watched that video, I would recommend you to watch the video. I will provide the link into the description, or you can click onto this I button at the top right corner to access that video. Okay, so let's get back. Okay, so here I have created the locator for the username field. So in the similar way, we need to initialize the value for the password field and the login button field, right, where we would be creating the locator for that. So go to the application here, inspect this password field, okay, and we can use this ID value only, right? So copy it, and similar way you need to write this dot and then password text box equals to page from the constructor dot locator. Okay, and here we will pass that ID value, ID equals to password, right? As the string you need to pass the selector, right? You can use this double quotes or the single quotes or the backticks, right? Usually I prefer the double quotes, but it's up to you. Actually I work onto the Java also, so I keep it consistent, but it is not necessary to use the double quotes. Okay, so now let's create the locator for the login button. So here we are going to use this this keyword, right? Dot login button equals to page dot, so same locator method we would be using. Okay, and let's copy this id attributes value, and then let's put it here. Okay, so here the id equals to that value, right? So here what we have done, we have declared all these property, right? So first one was of the type page, and all other are the type of locator, right? So these are all the properties which we have declared, and inside the constructor we have initialized the value of it, right? So this dot page equals to page. So here we are putting the value of page which we are going to get from this constructor, okay, inside this page property. Okay, and here we have put the values of the locator, okay, inside these property which we have created. Okay, so by this way we would be able to detect the element, right? So now what we need to do, as we have detected the element and created the locator, we need to perform action on to these locators, right? So here one thing what you can do, you can create the separate methods to fill the value inside this username, then create one more method to fill the value inside the password field, and then you can create one method to click onto this login button. But what I will do, as these are going to use into the group only, right? Every time you need to fill the username, password, and the login button, right? So for that you can directly create one method with the name of login. Okay, any name you can give, right? It's up to you, any logical name should be there. So for now I will give the method name as the login, right? So this is the login. So here, as the normal standard, we keep the method name like this, right? Where the first character would be the small letter, right? And here we are going to follow the camel casing only. So login, this is the method, and then you need to use the circular parenthesis and the curly braces. Okay, so this is the method which we have created, where we would be performing actions onto these locators, right? So how we can perform the actions? So let's say first we need to fill the username, right? So how you can fill the username? So first you need to access this locator, right? Or this property. So to access it, I told you, right? Inside the class, if you want to access any of its property, you need to give this keyword dot, and then after dot you need to give this property name, right? So here the username text box, and onto this username text box, right? This is the complete locator. Okay, and onto this locator, what we need to perform? We need to perform an action which is the fill, right? So here we would be using fill method, and here we can pass the username. Okay, so rather than directly hard coding that value, what we will do, we will pass it as the parameter here for the login method. Okay, and then we will pass the argument from the test script. Okay, so let's keep it like this. Username, this is the variable. Okay, username val. Okay, any name you can give, and its type would be string. So to give the type into the TypeScript, what you need to do, you need to put the colon. Okay, and then you need to give the type, which would be the string. Okay, similarly we have done here also, right? Here we have given the type as the page. Here we have given the locator. So similar thing we are doing here. We have created the one variable, and its type we have given as the string, right? Also we are going to create one more variable, right, here as the parameter. So password well, right? So to give this variable name also, same thing, we are going to use camel casing. So first character would be the small, but if any other word comes into picture, then you can keep them as the capital, right? Here we have kept the V as the capital. Okay, and then after space you can put the colon, and this also will be of type string, right? So let's fill the value. So here we can directly use this username value. So this variable we have passed here, and how we are going to get its value, we are going to pass the argument for this login method from our TypeScript file. When I will pass, I will tell you that how we can do that. Okay, now we need to fill the value for the password. Okay, so similar way you need to write this keyword dot password text box. Okay, dot fill, and then this password value variable you need to pass here, right? And then we are going to perform the click operation onto the login button. So this dot login button dot click method you need to use, right, to perform click operation, right? So now we have used these locators, right, and we have performed the action onto these locators. And one more thing you need to remember, that anywhere if the method is returning the promise, right, so we need to use this await keyword with them. So how we can use that? await you need to put here, right? Like this, in front of every method which is written in the promise, right? So now you are able to see this error here. Why? Because whenever you use this await inside any function or inside any method also, see, these are the methods. So in that case, you need to mark that particular function or method as async. So here, let's put this async here. So see, the error is gone. Okay, so this is the login method which we have created. There may be n number of methods which can come into picture, but for the login page, only this login method is sufficient, right? You can also create one method to kind of detect this heading, right? So a number of methods which can come, it is as per your test cases, right? For which you want to write the test script. Okay. So now we are done with this particular page, right? So here what we have done, we have created one class. Inside this, we have declared all these property. We have initialized its value inside the constructor, as these are read only. So we cannot initialize the value outside the constructor. We will have to initialize the value inside the constructor only. Okay. And then we need to create one method where we would be performing actions onto these locators which we have created. Here I will create one more method where we would be kind of opening that link. Okay. So that also you can create here. So how you need to do that? First you need to give that method name, right? So here let's keep it as open application, right? And inside this method we are going to open that URL, right? So to open the URL you need to use this dot page, right, to access this page. Okay, here we have initialized the value. Now we are using this variable, right, or the property here. This dot page dot go to we are going to use, and inside the go to we are going to pass that particular link here, right? So let me copy this sourcedemo.com link, and that you can pass here. And as this go to is going to return the promise, we are going to use this await keyword and mark this method as async. Okay. So yeah, these are the two methods which we would be creating. Now, as our login page is ready, right? And we have already exported it. So now let's create one test script file where we would be importing this login page and we would be accessing these properties and these methods there. Okay. So to create the test script file, you need to go to this tests folder, right click on it and click onto the new file. So here what we are going to do, we are going to log in into the application. Okay. And then from this home page, we are going to add one item into the card like this. Okay. And then we will be checking that this remove button is appearing here. And then we will go to this particular card and then we will verify this item is appearing there or not. Okay. So here let's create one test script file. Right click here, new file. And this file name I am going to keep as this cart verification. Okay. So cart verification would be our test script file, right? Then .spec.ts, right? You need to use this .spec.ts to create the test script file. Okay, hit enter. So this file will get opened. Okay. So here the old way which we used to do, right? First we need to import the test, right? Import test from @playwright/test. Okay. So now we have imported the test block. So here we are going to use this test block and then we are going to pass a title. So the title would be the verification of the cart, right? Any title name you can give, verification of cart. Okay. And then we need to use this anonymous function async. Okay. And then parenthesis and then arrow symbol you need to pass and the curly braces. Okay. So now we are ready with the template. Here we are going to use the page fixture, right? Okay. So now what we need to do, first we need to log in into the application. And to log in into the application, what you need to do, you need to fill the username, fill the password, and then you need to click onto the login button that we have already done here inside this page file, right? This login page.ts. So to access this method, what we need to do? So to access this method, what we will do, first we will import that login page here, right, into this test script file. So import you need to use, and what you are going to import, you are going to import this class, right? So the class name would be the login page. Okay. Inside the curly braces, you need to give this login page. Okay. And then after this login page, you need to use this from, right? And from where you are going to import, you are going to import it from this particular login page.ts file. Okay, so to access this file, what you need to do, give this double quotes and then here put double dot. So what this double dot mean? So currently we are inside this tests folder, right? Inside this particular file. So to go to this folder, what we need to do, we need to put one dot. Okay, and then we need to go to the parent of this folder also. So which one is the parent? This is the parent, right? Our project folder. So that's why we are putting the second dot. And then you need to put the forward slash. So see here, you would, as you are able to access this folder, right? Parent folder, which is the project folder, we are able to see all these folders name here, right? Where we need to go to this pages folder. So give that pages here, and then again put the forward slash, and then here we are going to use this login page, right? So give this login page here. Okay, so now we are able to access this login page, right? We have imported this login page, right, inside our TypeScript file. Okay, so this syntax you need to use: import, then the class name from, and then that location, right, from where you want to import it. Okay, so now as we have imported this login page, so to access the methods which are there inside the login page, right, what you need to do, you need to create one object, right? And how you can create one object? Const you need to use. Okay, and then we need to give the object name. So any object name you can give. I usually give the name like this, right? If we are using this login page, so login and then page like this, right? As this is the variable, so its first character would be the small, okay, and this p would be the capital. So this is the object name. Okay, you can also, let's say if you want to add object here just to identify it, you can use it also, but this should be sufficient, right? Login page, then equals to, and then you need to give the value of it. And how you can give the value? So here you need to give this new, and then you are going to use this login page class name, right? So this is the login page. Okay, and then you need to put the parenthesis. Okay, and inside this parenthesis we need to pass the value. And what is that value? So here if you will see, we have created one constructor, right, inside this particular login page. So this constructor is kind of accepting this page as the argument, right? So that's what we are going to pass with this login page. So in JavaScript, to create the constructor, we have used this constructor keyword, right? But if you have used the Java, then in that case, you will see we give the class name as the constructor name, right? Okay, and to create the object, what we need to do? We need to use this new and then the class name. So this is the constructor, okay? And this constructor is going to accept what? The page. So that's what we are going to pass the page here. So this is the page fixture which we are going to pass here, right? So now error is gone, right? So now we have created the object of this login page, okay? And its name is this login page. L is small here, okay? If you are little confused with this name, you can also add this object as the suffix, right? Obj, so you will get to know this is the object name, right? But it is really not necessary, but just to bifurcate and just to avoid confusion, I am using this name. Okay, and then here what we would do, we are going to use this object, okay, and then we are going to access the method. So through this object, right, you can access the methods of this login page, right? Because it is the object of this particular class, okay? So through this object, what we are going to do, we are going to access these methods, which are open application and the login method. We can also access these properties through this object, but for now we just need these methods, okay? So how you can do that? After the object name, you need to put the dot and then the method name. See here, you are able to see all the method name, also the properties which we have created. So for now, I'm going to use this open application method, okay? Here we are not going to pass any attribute because we have directly used this URL here, right? And as these methods, if you will mouse over on it, so these methods are going to return the promise. And why they are returning the promise? Because we have used this async here, right? So as they are returning the promise, what we need to do, we need to use this await keyword here also. AWAIT, okay? Now let's access the second method. So await login page object, okay, dot, and then this login method we need to access. Okay, and inside this login method, we are going to pass the username and the password. So for now, we are going to hard code these username and password values, but later we can make it data driven, right? And through the external files we can provide these values, right? For now, let's hard code it. So what is the username? So here the username is a standard user which you can use. Okay, this is a string which you need to pass. Okay, and then that put the comma. See, here we are able to see the definition, right? This is the login method and it is accepting the username, and the second value is the password value, right, which is of the type string. So the password we can copy from here and pass it as the string. Okay, so here now we have written the code to open that URL, right, of that application sourcedemo.com, and then we are going to log in into the application by giving the username, password, right? If I control click onto this method, so see here we will go to this method where we are filling the values of the username and password, and then we are clicking onto the login button. Okay, so now let's quickly run the script, right, and we would be able to see that we are able to log in into the application, right? So see, this is the file which we need to execute. Cart verification, click onto the run button. So see here the application got opened, and it will put username and password, and then it clicked onto the login button and we are landed onto this home page. Okay, so this is the way through which you can create a page object model, right? You will have to create the page class where you would be providing all the properties and the methods to perform the action on it, and then you would be calling these items here into our test script file, right? So this is one part which we have created for the login functionality. Now let's see the other functionality. So here I have already created these two files, which is homepage.ts and the cart page.ts, right? So let's open this homepage.ts first. Okay, so in the similar way, we have created this login page.ts. We are going to create this homepage.ts quickly, right? So first we are going to use this class keyword, right? And then you need to give this class name homepage. Okay, and then curly braces, and then first we are going to create that constructor, right? Or first you can create those variables which you are going to use. So to create the variables, you need to use this read only, right? As we don't want to change its value later, right? So read only, then this page variable, right? And its type would be the page. Okay, and then we are going to import this page from the Playwright test module, right? So same thing, import, and then capital PAGE from, and then you need to use this particular module Playwright test, right? Then we need to declare the property for other locator which we are going to use. So here into the application, what we are going to do after logging in, we are going to click onto this add to cart for this sauce lab backpack. Okay, and then once we click on it, this remove button should be displayed. That also we would be checking, and then we will go to this cart icon. Okay, we will click on it. So let's create the locator for them. So first declare those property, right, for the locator. So read only we need to use, read only, and then this variable name. So this is the add to cart button for this backpack. So let's keep the name as backpack, right? Add to cart, camel casing I'm using, right, to create the name, and this is button, right? So let's add this button at the end, and then its type would be the locator, right? So locator you need to import. So see here it got automatically imported. Okay, and now let's declare one property for the remove button which we get once we click here. Okay, so read only. Okay, and then backpack remove button, right? So I'm keeping name like this, backpack remove, and it's of button type, right? This is the button element, so I'm adding this button at the end, right? BUTTON, and then its type would be the locator. Okay, and now let's declare one variable for this cart item. So read only, and then this locator name we can keep it as cart icon, right? This is one icon. Any meaningful name which you need to give, right? By seeing it, I will get to know that the name is cart, right? And this is some kind of icon, right? Okay, and this is also of locator type. Okay, now we have declared these properties. Then what we need to do, we need to use this constructor. Okay, where we would be initializing the property. So inside this constructor, what we are going to give one parameter which is of page type, right? So page, and then its type would be the capital PAG. So it is not necessary that you need to keep it like this small PAG. You can give any name, right? But the meaningful name, right? In the Selenium, usually we give the driver, right? So here we are using the page 1, page 2, anything you can give here. Okay, and then this curly braces where we would be initializing those values. So first, the similar pattern we have used in to this login page, right? So this dot page and this dot page equals to, and this its value would be this particular page, right? Which we are going to get once we create the object of this home page. Okay, now let's put the value of the locator, right? So first for the add to cart button, right? So this you need to put here this dot that add to cart property name, right? And then its locator value. So page dot locator. Okay, and let's inspect this particular element quickly. We would be able to get the locator, right? So pick the locator, click onto this pick locator, go to this item, click here, come back to the VS Code. Here you would be able to see this generated locator. Hit enter, so it will get copied. You can, after page dot, directly put that locator, right? So this is the add to cart button locator. Now let's create locator for the remove button, right? So how you can initialize that value? This dot and then backpack remove button equals to, and let's inspect this remove button also. Pick locator, click here onto the remove button, go to the VS Code, hit enter to copy this locator value, page dot, and then paste that value. Okay, and the third thing is this cart icon, right? So let's use this also. This dot and then this cart icon equals to page dot. So after this dot we need to use that locator. So this time let's use the manual method to detect the locator. Okay, so let's inspect this cart icon. Okay, from here. So this is the cart icon, right? So here we are able to get this ID, right, for that particular div. So let's use this ID only here. So locator method which we are going to use, and inside this ID equals to that ID value you can use. Okay, so this is the locator for the cart icon. Okay, so here I will create one more property for this particular title. So after logging in, what we will do, we will provide assertion for this title. So let's do that also. So how you can do that here? Anyway, you can use this read only and then page title, right? Home page title, home page heading. Let's give the name like this, then colon, and it would be of type locator. Let's put it here. Okay, and now let's initialize the value of this home page heading locator, right? So let's copy this name here, this dot, then that home page heading equals to, right? Let's use this pick locator to detect the locator for this heading. Okay, click onto this pick locator, go to the browser. Okay, see now if we mouse over on it, we are able to see this get by text. Click on it. Okay, and once you come back to this VS Code, you would be able to see this locator. Hit enter to copy it, and then use this page dot, and then this get by text method which we have copied, right? So about this get by methods also we have talked into my previous video of this Playwright with TypeScript series. I will provide the link of this video into the description, and also you can click onto this I button at the top right corner to access this video. I will recommend you to watch this video if you have not watched it. Okay, so now as we have created all the properties, right, like page and all these locators, right, and we have initialized the value inside the constructor for them. So now we are going to perform different actions onto them. So first thing, after logging into the application, what we need to do, we need to check that this heading is appearing like this, swag labs. Okay, and to check that, what you need to do, you need to put the assertion. Okay, so there are two ways to put the assertion, right? One way is that we can create a method directly here inside this page file, right? And then inside that method we would be putting the assertion, and then we would be calling that method inside our TypeScript file, right here. And the second way is that we would directly put the assertion here into the TypeScript file. Okay, so there are two different ways, but and as per Playwright documentation, let me open that Playwright documentation. So here usually they are using both the ways, right? So this is the official documentation for this Playwright page object models. Okay, so see here, if you will see inside some methods, they have used this expect method. Okay, and then they are calling those methods here, right? This one is the get started, so they have called this method here, right? So inside this method, we are having the assertion also. And the second way, which I told you, right, we can directly put the assertion here, right? Like this. This is for different locator, right? And on this, they are performing the assertion. So in the Playwright, they have not specified that it is necessary to put assertion into the TypeScript file or into the page file. But let me show you one more document which is related to the Selenium page object model. So see here into this particular section, if you will see assertion in page objects. Okay, so let me read it out for you. So this page object themselves should never make verification or assertion. This is part of your test and should always be within the test's code, never in the page object. The page object will contain the representation of the page, right? The locators which we are going to use, and the services the page provides via methods, right? So the services mean all the actions which we are going to perform onto that locator for that page. But no code related to what it is being tested should be within the page object, right? So that's what they are telling, that they are strictly against it, that we should provide the assertion inside the page object model, right? It is preferred to put the assertion inside the TypeScript file only, right? So that's what I'm going to use, but it is up to you, right? Because for the Playwright, they have not specified that thing, but I'm going to follow the same approach which we follow into the Selenium, right? Where we put the assertion inside the TypeScript file and not into the page file, right? So for now, I'm not going to create any method for that to provide that assertion, right? Directly, we will use assertion into the TypeScript file. So now coming on to the second action which we are going to perform. The second action would be the this add to cart operation onto this backpack item, right? So for that, we have already created one locator, right? Let's create one method. So method name, you can give backpack add to cart, right? This is the method name. Any logical name you can give. Okay, then this parenthesis, then that curly braces, and inside the curly braces, you need to access this add to cart button, right? So how you can access it? Put this keyword dot and then backpack add to cart button, right? And then we are going to perform the click operation on it. So dot, then this click method we are going to use, and this click method is going to return the promise. So that's why we will have to use this await keyword here, right? And when we are using await, we'll have to mark this method also as the async. Okay, so it will click onto that add to cart button. Okay, and once we click onto the add to cart button, what will happen? Okay, so once we click onto this add to cart button, so see, one thing is happening, that we are able to see this remove button, and second thing is that we are able to see this cart icon with this one on the top, right? Let me remove it. So see here, one is not appearing, but once we add it, so this one is appearing. So after clicking onto this add to cart button, let's put one verification for this one is appearing, right? Once we add a single item here. So to do that, we need to access this cart icon, right? So this dot this cart icon. Okay, and on this we are going to perform some assertion, right? So after add to cart, we would be performing the assertion. So here, as I told, right, either we can put that assertion inside the method only, right, which is there inside the class, but that approach we are not going to follow. So that's what I will do there into the TypeScript file. So here we would put the assertion, right, but not inside the method, but after calling this method, I will provide this assertion inside the TypeScript file only, right? And now after clicking onto this add to cart, one more thing is happening. This remove button is appearing, right? For this also, we will provide the assertion inside the TypeScript file only. Okay, so once that is done, what we need to do, we need to click onto this cart icon. Okay, and to do that, you need to use that cart, go to cart, right? Any method name you can use. I'm using this go to cart method. Okay, and then use this cart icon this time here, where we would be performing click operation, right? This dot and then this cart icon dot click, CLICK. Await we need to use. Okay, so now this page is ready, right? Where we have created all these properties, initialized those properties, and then we have created those methods here, right? So now we need to import the class also. So here we need to use this export keyword, right? And now let's import it inside the TypeScript file. So to import it, the same pattern which we have used, we need to use this import keyword, and then this particular class name, which is homepage, and then we are going to import it from this homepage.ts file. So we need to access that file. So put double dot, then forward slash, then pages, right? And then here we need to use this homepage, right? This one, and I have put this spelling wrong. IMPORT, now it is correct, right? So now once we imported this homepage, right, it is telling we have not exported the homepage. Why so? Okay, the spelling is wrong. So see, the class name, it should be similar to the class name. So we need to correct this class name, right? I have given the wrong spelling here. Home page, right? Okay, so now as we have imported the home page, so now let's create one object for that, right? So to create the object, what you need to use this const, and then home page obj, any name you can give, right? But it should be meaningful so that you would be able to identify it, right? It is for which class, this object is for which class. Okay, and then new, and then home page. Okay, and inside it we are going to pass the page fixture. Okay, because this home page constructor is going to use this page, right? Here it is appearing as the parameter, so that's why we need to pass it as the argument from here. Okay, so now onto this home page, first thing what we were going to do, we were going to perform the assertion for this particular title. Okay, so as I told, I would be doing that assertion into the TypeScript file, right? So let's put the assertion here, await, and expect you need to use, right? So about this assertions also I have already talked, so I will provide the link of that video into the description, or you can click onto the I button at the top right corner to access that video. Okay, so inside this expect, what we are going to do, we are going to use that this variable, right? We are going to use this homepage heading property, right? So to access it, what you need to do, you need to use this homepage object, right, which we just created, homepage object, then dot, and then we are going to use this homepage heading property, right? So previously for this login, we were just using the methods, right? We were putting the object dot and then method name to access its method, but here we are accessing its property, right? Homepage dot, then homepage heading, right? This is the object dot, and then that property which you want to access, right? So here you will not put this parenthesis, right? Because this is the property and not the method, right? If you mouse over on it, so see, you are able to see it is the property. Okay, and then onto this expect, what we are going to do, we are going to check that it should have to have text, right? And then which text we are expecting, it is swag labs, right? So let's put that swag labs. Okay, and here as you are able to see this error, why we are able to see this error, because we have not imported this expect. So to import it, what you need to do, you need to, after this test, put the comma, and then you need to put the expect, because we need to import it from the same package, right? From @playwright test, right? So this is the session which we have put. So now after this, we need to click onto this add to cart button, and to click onto the add to cart button, we have already created one method, right? Backpack add to cart. So this is what we are going to use. So you need to use this await, and then this homepage object we are going to use, and then we will access that method which is backpack add to cart, right? This one. This is the method which we are going to access, which will click onto that add to cart button. Okay, and once we click onto the add to cart, so we saw, right, we are going to perform some assertion here. So first assertion we are going to perform, that we are going to check this one is appearing or not. So to do that, what you will do, await, expect, and here we are going to use this home page object, right? Home page object, and then this cart icon, right? Cart icon, and the same thing to have text method we are going to use. And what is the text which we are expecting? So we are expecting it as the one, right? So this icon, right? Let me inspect it. So see, inside this icon, if I will expand it, so see this one which is there as the text, right? So that's what we are going to verify. So after this, we are going to check this remove button is appearing here onto the page or not, right? So for that, again, we need to put the assertion. So here you need to use this expect, okay? And then we are going to access it with this home page object dot, and then backpack remove button, right? Which we need to verify. So this is the property, so directly you can use it, right? You need not to put any parenthesis here. And then we are going to check that it is visible or not. So we will use this to be visible method here, right? Okay, so this is the second assertion which we have provided. After that, we are going to click onto this cart icon. So for that, we have already created one method which is go to cart. So this is what we are going to use, await, and then this home page object dot that method name go to cart, right? So it will click onto that go to cart. Okay, so this is the second page which we have created, and we have created a object of it, and then we have provided all the assertion which we required onto that page, and also the methods which we have provided to perform the action of it, right? So once we click on this cart icon, what will happen? We are going to see this sauce lab backpack here, right? So now let's create one more page where what we will be doing, we will be just verifying this particular item is there or not, right? So to do that, let's create one more page. Okay, so on this we are not going to perform any action for this page, but we are going to just check this particular locator is there or not. So let's create one more page, right? So I have already created this file which is cardpage.ts, right? So here let's create one class, right? Export. We are going to export the class now only. Export, and then class, and the class name would be this cart page only, cart page. Okay, and inside it, first I'm going to declare those variable, right? So first variable would be the page, which would be of page type, right? And let's import this page and locator, right? As previously we have done here for these two pages. Let me copy this line from here only. Okay, and here let's declare one more variable which is read only, and then this item, backpack item, right? Let's give the name as backpack item link. Okay, this is the link, right? See, let me inspect it also. See, it is appearing as the link only. Okay, and its type would be the locator, right? So the same thing we have done for the login page and the home page. So I'm just going to perform these actions quickly, right? And once we declare these properties, let's create one constructor, right? For the other pages also we have done the same. Here we are going to use this page colon, and which is of page type, and inside this constructor, first we are going to initialize the value of this page. So this dot page, right? This dot page means this declared property, right? And its value should be equals to what? This page, which we are going to get once we create the object. Okay, and then after that, here also we are going to create one locator, right? So this dot backpack item link equals to, and then we are going to detect that locator. Let's use the pick locator to detect this locator. Okay, so we are going to detect the locator for this particular link, right? Which is this sauce lab backpack item link. Okay, so go to the pick locator. Okay, click onto this link which we want to detect, go to the VS Code, copy the locator, then page dot, and then this locator, right? So now we have initialized its value. Now we are going to perform check on it, right? So what check we want to perform? We are just going to check this item should be visible, right? And the same text should be appearing here, sauce lab backpack. So as we are just going to perform the assertion onto this page, right? There may be different actions which can come into picture for other test cases. Let's say you want to click onto the checkout button. So for that you will create one method here, right? to click onto the checkout, right? But for now, we are just going to perform an assertion. So that's why I'm not creating any method, because all the assertion would be there into our test script file. Okay. And this code is not looking formatted properly. So to format the code, what you need to press, you can press Alt Shift and F. So automatically see your code will get formatted, right? So now let's go to our test script file. So here first, what we are going to do, we are going to import this cart page, right? So import curly braces, then this cart page. So if you will see, I just clicked onto this cart page and it automatically detected that we are going to import it from this location, right? And once it is there, we need to create one object. So const, and then this cart page object obj, then equals to new, and then this class name, and inside, as we are calling the constructor, we are going to pass the attribute of page, right? As its constructor is going to accept this page, right? Okay. And then here we are going to just perform the assertion. Okay, so to provide the assertion, what you need to do, you need to give this await, and then expect method we would be using, and inside the expect method we are going to use that property, right? So to access the property, we need to give the object dot, and which property? This property backpack item link, right? We are going to access, and then we need to put one assertion. So here I'm going to use this to have text assertion, and here we need to put the text which we need to verify. So to do that, just directly copy this name here from this HTML item sauce lab backpacks. Okay, then go to the VS Code and put it as the string, right? Okay, so now our one test is completed, right? The whole test script which we wanted to write, we logged in into the application, and then after logging in into the application, we are going to verify that heading of that home page, right? And then we clicked on to add to cart of that first item, and then we have provided the assertion to verify that this cart icon is having one or not, and then we are verifying this remove button is appearing or not. And once that is done, we are going to click onto that cart icon, and once we click onto the cart icon through this, we are going to verify it that this link is appearing with this text or not. Okay, so this is our complete test. Okay, and we have created this test using the page object model, and we have not written all the locators and method inside the test script file, but we have written it inside the different pages, right? All the properties and all the actions, and then we are just calling it here. And for the assertion, as we saw, that we are going to put assertion inside the test script file only, right? I think this wrongly got imported. Let me move it. Yeah. So now let's run the script. Let me close all the browser, and let's run the script. So see, it logged in into the application, it verified all the things, and see, our test got passed, right? Okay, so let me also open this HTML report to show it to you that how it is looking with the page object model. So click on to reveal in Explorer, click on to this index.html. So see, this file got generated where we have just executed one test only, and once you expand it, so see, you would be able to see all the actions which got performed, right? Here you logged in into the application, right? From here, open the link, logged in there, then different actions also which we are able to see, right? So onto the HTML report, you would not be able to see any impact, but one thing which you would be able to see is like this, right? Where these actions are getting performed, right? So see, these actions are getting performed onto the pages, right? See, and these assertions are getting performed directly onto the test script file. This is our test script file, so that you would be able to see into the HTML report. Apart from that, there would not be any difference. Okay, but by looking at the report only, you would be able to see that let's say if some error is happening onto any of the lines, so you would be able to see that in which file, at which particular line you need to go. So yeah, that's it for this particular video. Let me give you one quick recap, right? So here, to create the page object model, we created one pages folder, and inside it we have given the different files, right, for different pages, right? And then onto these pages, we created one class where we have declared the properties, right? And then we have initialized those properties inside the constructor, okay, as they are read only. And then once they are initialized, we use this method to perform different actions on them, okay? And if we are going to perform any assertion onto these properties, right, onto this locator, then we are going to perform it directly inside the test method. So it is not hard and fast, but it is recommended, right? So usually into the Selenium, it is recommended to use the session inside the test script file rather than the page file. Okay, and now let's first go through the advantages which we left right inside the document. Okay, so see, once we create a page object model, so there are some advantages which are there. So there is a clean separation between the test code and the page specific code, such as locators, right? There is a single repository for the services or the operations the page offers, right? Rather than having these services scattered through the test, right? So usually if we will not use the page object model, all the actions which we are going to perform would be there into the different tests, right? So it would be a kind of little clumsy to maintain it, right? And the third advantage is this page object is a design pattern that has become popular in the test automation for enhancing test maintenance and reducing code duplication. Okay, the benefit is that if the UI changes for the page, the test themselves don't need to change, right? Only the code within the page object needs to change, right? So these are all the different advantages of this page object model. I will also provide the links of these official document of this Playwright documentation and the Selenium documentation, right? That also you can go through, because this is very good document, and they have given so many things about the page object model. So if you want to get it in more detail, so you can read that particular document. Okay, but yeah, I've already covered most of the things there, so now you should be able to practice it and you can implement it into your framework. So yeah, that's it from mine. You can click onto this first card to go to the next video. You can click onto the second card to access the whole playlist, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, questions, doubts, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.